But the three people who in my business that are non-negotiable are your monitor, your maker, and the money. Those three roles serve a critical function in your business. Without your business having these three people, it is impossible for you to be able to scale your business. Hi, I'm Towan Isom. I'm CEO of Isom Global Strategies. First of all, welcome to my channel. In this channel, we talk a lot about business operations, strategy, marketing, branding, business consultation. Anyone can start a business. People start business all day long, but very few people can grow a business and have a successful business. I've been doing it for 20 years and I'm damn good at it. But the three people who in my business that are non-negotiable are your monitor, your maker, and the money. Those three roles serve a critical function in your business. Without your business having these three people, it is impossible for you to be able to scale your business. The money, someone who can track the money, know where the money is going, what you're spending too much money on, why your business is not winning because of labor, because of you're spending too much on operations, your direct labor costs. All of that has to do with the person who tracks and monitors your money. The maker is like the baker. They're the person that is the expert in your business. The technical expertise comes from the maker. So if you have a bakery, the baker, the dessert chef is the maker. The money, the person who does the accounting is your money person. And then final is the monitor, the person who monitors every aspect of your business to make sure that what you promised and what you committed to gets done. Oftentimes in business, you are wearing several hats. For someone who's been in business as long as I didn't learn this lesson the hard way, that these three roles make my business function. Without these three roles, it is impossible for me to be successful. And I didn't know this in the beginning. In the beginning, I thought that, like, hey, I could just do it all by myself. But you know what? Was great, because that doesn't happen. The first thing you need to know that regardless of what size your business is, if it's micro, if it's small, if it's mid-size or large business, the money person, what they do will look like and change drastically. If you're a micro business, that may be just you might be able to do your bookkeeping and your accounting yourself. If you are a larger business, typically you might have a CFO, bookkeeper, accounting, accounts receivables, and accounts payable person. So you may have 4 people if you're a larger organization. And then depending on that, you might have different verticals. So I say all that just to say, you need to know that based on your business side, the money may look different at every business side. The micro person could be just one person, you, right? Or a part-timer. The small business, it might be a part-time bookkeeper. Medium business, you may have 2 people, and a large business, like I said, you can have 4, depending on the type of business you have. You might have up to 20, 50 people in your money area or your accounting department. But when it comes to any business, you need someone who can monitor the cash, invoice for your cash flow, and make sure you are getting paid. That has to be tracked. And let me tell you, you can have a ton of money, but if your cash flow is not managed correctly, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you can have 250,000, 20 million, seen this before, outstanding in invoices. But if the money is not in your bank, that's a problem because you have to invoice. And oftentimes when you're working with corporate companies, what can happen, and most oftentimes does happen, is they don't pay and net 15. They could pay net 30. And depending on some of the contracts you have, it may actually be net 90. So when you're looking at your business and you have a business that's really focused on trying to maintain your cash flow, especially when you're smaller, when you're micro and you're small and you don't have the experience, you haven't had the contract management, you haven't had that much business in play, managing your cash flow is essential. So you always want to be invoicing on time, like literally invoice every month. Even if it's not, you don't get the money for 60 days or 90 days, make it a practice to invoice every single month. Because let me tell you, if you wait till you have time, you never have time as a business owner. So if you can get someone to manage that process, simple bookkeeping, and also simple things like invoicing every month, invoice 6th of every month for the previous month. That gives you time to get all your transactions and get your bank statement. And then you can download those bank statements. There's other tips and things you could do as well to make this process, if it's just you, a lot more easy to manage. I'll talk about that. But the money piece is everything because, like I said, you can have a valuation of your company, like invoice coming in could be 250,000, and it's very possible that you only have $50,000 in the bank because you just have not had the time to invoice yet. I see this happen all the time. It used to happen to me. We would have $500,000 outstanding, right? But then we were so busy because we were growing so fast and we didn't have anyone to manage that. And then what would happen is you're like, oh my God, we have all this money outstanding, but we got to go back and invoice. And then it takes time for you to get those invoices paid. But what oftentimes happens when you are in business is when that happens, you start having cash flow issues, right? And so businesses and banks don't want to really bring you on as a client and give you a line of credit because you haven't had the time yet in your business, right? So it's good for you to manage your cash flow. And banks look at that. They look at how good with you in managing your cash flow. And so it's not enough for you to just have $500,000 out there, right? I have $500,000 outstanding. So what? But your bank account is $50,000. So that's in the bank's bad financial practice. So you need someone to manage the money. And if you need any help with that, I have a little downloadable. Look for the link in the description. And it's a link to what a bookkeeper should be doing, what an accounting person should be doing at every stage of your business. This is my way to help you. And so when you're onboarding someone, you can find someone. I wouldn't use Fiverr. I would use probably someone Upworks every month. Download your bank statements, send it to your bookkeeper, and they can manage your files for you. But there's also ways for you to do it yourself that's not overwhelming. You can get Rocket Money, connect all your bank accounts, your personal and your business, but run the business separate. And then you can start tracking your expenses that way as well. And so you don't necessarily need a bookkeeper, but you can have an accounting manager or CPA review your books every month, right? And do monthly closeout. There's a ton of stuff. So we talked about the method. Let's talk about the maker. The maker are the people who make the sauce. They are the actual technicians in your business, right? So EMIB says you shouldn't wear all hats. You shouldn't be doing like all things. You should separate everything out. So for your job, the maker, it may not be you, it may be your employees, but these are the people that your business is based on. So if you are a creative design company, your maker will actually be your graphic designers, right? You need quality people to maker. If you're the maker yourself, still in your business because you're micro, you haven't transitioned to being able to hire other people in your business, that's fine. But you need to understand that your sole responsibility as a business owner is to master the art of what you do. And I know sometimes it's difficult because when you are the maker, you have to do other things. That's why I'm telling you to separate the roles. The money, the maker, that's you for now, and then the monitor, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. So as the maker, your job is to ensure that everything, the standard quality of what you are selling, what you are offering, what you're servicing is at a level of excellence. And so you cannot be distracted. So as the maker, your job is to do the work. The maker is the technical person in the company. You'll do it with excellence. You have quality assurance in place. You get feedback on how to make it better. Now, you may be at a place where your business is no longer micro. You're going to the point where you are now. No, you might be able to hire one or two people on board in your business who have the same technical expertise. Have them do just the maker function. Don't hire anyone and have them split duties. Well, this person could messed up in the beginning. Oh, this person will be great. They do graphic design. Maybe I have them do client management. have them just do graphics. The maker is solely responsible for the technical part in the business. Name, finally, the monitor. The monitor is the person who keeps your business going. They're the person who are checking the emails, responding to clients. They don't do anything with money. They don't have the technical expertise. Their sole job is to manage everything in the business to make sure it's tracked. So they pull the reports to say, hey, this is time for you to have a meeting. You committed to having a meeting with the client every month. Have you had that meeting? I put it on your schedule. You now have a meeting. Because if it was just you know how it is when you're the maker, you get so engrossed in what you're doing. Sometimes you don't really have an opportunity to focus on, oh my God, I got to follow up with the client, or you're spread in many directions. So the monitor is the person. Typically, they can be admin, but I don't want to restrict them to say this is an admin person. Administration is a gift. Everyone does that. So this is the person who can be a virtual assistant. They could be an administrative assistant as you start to grow your business. They can become your executive assistant. Old school people used to say secretary. They keep the schedule. They make sure you don't what you're supposed to do. If you have some deliverables coming up, they'll give you a heads up, put it on your calendar. Hey, my deliverable is due on Thursday. What they will do is they will create slots in your schedule to say reminder, first draft, second draft, third draft, final deliverable due. They will also make sure that you are having meetings with your team, other makers, right? So they will make sure that every week or twice a month, you're having meetings with your accounting manager. They're also tracking the accounting manager to say, hey, financials are due because you need to invoice the client. Right? So this is the person who makes sure your business runs. And you do not want to discount your monitor because they help you keep other things, the administrations going within your company. So you do not have to worry. Business is 20% administration, and it is a pain in the toe. And what you need to know that best people separate these functions very clearly in the beginning of their business. I did not. I suffered for many years trying to do everything, trying to do accounting, which I'm not good at, trying to do client management, which I am good at, but our passion is really sits for the things that I'm making, my creativity, what the people come to me for, crisis communications, marketing, branding, graphic design, business consultation, strategy. That's my expertise. But if I'm spending time doing all these other things, it waters down my ability to be the best in my craft. The maker is the craft. That's how you get your money. The monitor is the service part to the customer. And the monitor is responsible. It helps you keep your business alive and keeps your client. The money makes sure you stay paid, keeps your company in business. These three functions are essential. If you want to know more about this, definitely go to the link in the description, download a full handout that I've put together for anyone who wants to know what these functions do at every phase of your business. Micro phase, small business phase, mid-sized business, and large business. And it's really going to help you start to identify these functions. Sometimes people already in your company have different gifts, but they're not in the proper role. And this is an opportunity for you to maybe make some updates to your labor and your team and say, you know what, Julie, you're really good at administration and I really need you here. And Michael, I know you're really good with the numbers. Would you mind taking on this role and responsibility? And I'm going to make some shifts in the organization. So I think this is going to be helpful to you because if you go, and even if you're starting a business and haven't started a business yet, if you know how these roles are clearly different, it's going to help you set up your business for success. And when you scale, you just simply have a blueprint now for how to scale your business, how to scale from a monitor who's a virtual assistant in a micro business to a small business, what they should be doing, the additional responsibilities they should be picking. We talk about all of that in hand. What a person who is a money person, what they should be doing in your business at micro. And as you scale up, what kind of roles and responsibilities you can add on. And then as the maker, what the maker should be doing and really what they should not be doing. I think these three functions will help you scale your business smarter, more leaner, and faster. So I hope this download, go down in the description and download this link. It's a great resource. And trust me, you do not want to waste countless money, frustration, disappointment in people because they're not in the right roles in your company. Hope this helps. God bless you guys and ladies. Hi, this is Towan Isom. I hope you enjoyed this content. It was a lot, but if you want to have a quick and easy reference guide and downloadable, look in the description, and I have a link to a handout that walks through all of these roles in your business at the micro, small, and large business size. Download it. Let me know what you think. Have a great day.